Hey world's biggest small group. My name is Lauren Daigle and I'm excited to be with y'all this morning. I just know that y'all are studying about overcoming suffering and the things that the Lord has on the other side of suffering. When I was 15 years old, I was diagnosed with this illness and I was placed on homebound for 2 years. All of the things that I loved, all the things that I was driven by were community-oriented things. I loved being with my friends. I loved growing, getting a car, learning how to drive for the first time, going out to eat with your friends. All the things that are just simple meant so much to me. And all of that was stripped away within like 2 weeks of my life. And when the test results came back in, I found out, okay, I'm gonna be placed on homebound. And so I didn't get to go back to school. I didn't get to graduate with my friends. There was a lot of things that changed. And, depression definitely is a real thing, started setting in moments. But my mom would always encourage me and say, hey, if you're walking through this, God has something on the other side. I remember I would sit in my bedroom by myself at night and I would just honestly get on my knees and get on my face and say, God, what are you doing this for? Like, what is the purpose? Does God make us sick and make all these bad things happen to us? I don't think so. But what I do think is that He works all things out for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. So what I started to do, instead of being overwhelmed by my circumstance, I used the circumstance to become the platform on which I stood to get me into the next season. So I started studying all of these people who had gone through intense times of adversity, and on the other side of it became these prolific speakers or prolific gymnasts or musicians or whatever you have it, businessmen, businesswomen. I started studying their stories and seeing how tragedy was actually the place on which they stood in order to, reach people or find strength within themselves to become something greater than what the odds were against them. In my process of going through this illness, I found this one verse in particular, and it was so the timing of God, and it was just the sweetness that He would allow me to land on this verse this one particular day. Proverbs 16:9 was the day that I can truly say my life changed because this verse kind of resonated with my heart in such a way that it just changed my life. And it says, man may choose his path, but the Lord directs his steps. So here I am in this process of being alone and in solitude, but all the while I'm pressing into the Lord because I knew that there was something that He was going to bring on the other side. And He started showing me visions about music and stages and awards and charts and all these crazy things. And I just remember thinking, what is this about? I can't even leave my house. What does this mean? I landed on that verse and I realized it wasn't in my own strength that I was going to get there, but God was going to work out a miracle because, the path in my heart was to do music, but He directed every single step to get me to the place that I'm at. And that season of solitude, honestly, is a treasured gift that I would not trade for the world, not being on this side. So all that to say, suffering can produce beautiful, beautiful things. If you're walking through a difficult time, just keep pressing on, keep persevering. You don't have to strive. It's actually the strength of the Lord that will get you to where He has planned for you. So I hope that encourages you today.